Economic growth, as we already know, that there is an important thing. What is the important thing? There is a great difference between economic growth and economic development, and that is an important part in every respect. Okay, and this is one of the important model, the first model we can say for macroeconomics. Okay, so economic growth, a number of theory have tried to study the process of economic growth, and it had unfolded in the past, especially within the free market framework. This theory or economic growth are also referred to as growth model, especially when the quantitative interrelationship among the critical variables in the process of economic growth are set out in a rigorous form. Okay, you will learn there are two formulas which are very important. GW CR equals to and GC equals to. There are concepts like warranted growth, okay, normal growth, all these things are there. Okay, so background, first let us read what it is all about. Okay, because every time whenever we are reading, the most important thing, what is the background to any model, that we need to read first. So the model of growth was developed by two different economists, okay, each working independently. These two economists were who? Harrod and Domar. Harrod, of course, published his theory earlier than Domar. Harrod's book Towards a Dynamic Economic was published in 1948, while Domar's book was published in New York in 1957. Harrod model and Domar model may differ in details, but the thing is same. HDM integrated the classical and Keynesian analysis of economic growth. In the Harrod-Domar model, capital accumulation plays a crucial role. You need to remind that. Okay, remember that both the classical economists and Keynesian have recognized a critical role of capital accumulation in the process of economic growth, but the classical economists considered only the capacity of the capital accumulation, and believing in that supply created its own demand, did not pay attention to the demand side. Keynesians, on the other hand, irradiated in the opposite direction, concerned primarily with the short period they considered. Right? What is the essence of the model? Starting from a full employment equilibrium level of income, we can see the HDM postulated that continuous maintenance of this equilibrium required that the volume of spending generated by investment must be sufficient to absorb the increased output resulting from investment. So given the marginal propensity to save, that is MPS, the more the capital is accumulated, the larger will be the initial national income. Obviously, the larger must be the absolute volume of net investment. Maintenance of full employment therefore required an ever expanding amount of net investment. So in return required a continuous growth in real national income. Capital accumulation and growth of income must go side by side, and an increase in capital expands the productive capacity of the economy. Okay, so what are the assumptions? First, let us see. In any model, whenever you are reading, always don't forget to read the assumptions, because these are crucial. So you need to read the assumption. Okay, an initial full employment level of income exists. There is no government interference. Exogenous factors do not influence the growth variable. There are no lags in adjustment. The economic variables are what? Saving, investment, income adjust themselves. The APS and MPS are equal to each other. Always propensity to save and capital coefficient are constant, and you can see saving and investment are equal in ex ante and export sense. So now start with the Harrod model, as I already stated you the year. So R.F. Harrod tries showed to in his model that how steady state equilibrium growth may occur in an economy. Once the steady growth is interrupted and the economy falls into disequilibrium, cumulative forces tend to perpetuate this divergence, hereby leading to either secular deflation or secular inflation. So how can steady growth rate be achieved with fixed capital output ratio and fixed saving income ratio? How can the steady growth rate be maintained? And how do natural factor put a ceiling? We have to do that. So statement of the model is what? Here, one, there is the actual growth, as I already told you. This you can see. Two, there is warranted growth rate. So the actual growth rate is what? Represented by G, and the warranted growth rate is represented by GW. It is a full capacity growth rate of income in an economy, and there is natural growth rate, which is GN. So first, actual growth rate, GC equal to S. This is the first equation, where G is actual rate of growth, C is marginal capital output ratio, and S is the income ratio. And GC equal to S because G is nothing but del Y by Y, C is I by del Y, and S is S by Y. Okay, so the equality between saving and investment. What is warranted growth rate? GWCR equal to S, where GW is the warranted growth rate, CR is the amount of capital required to maintain the warranted growth rate, and saving income ratio. Okay, So here is a diagram in figure 2.1. Income is measured along what horizontal axis. We know how much important it is. You need to access the thing, and it would be seen that the change in income from y1 to y2, you can change it. You can see the change in income induced investment would be equal saving s1. This investment in turn raised income to this. So I2 in turn raised income to y3, y4 like this. So the point of intersection of the investment line and the line running parallel to the y-axis indicated the required investment. The greater proportion of saving, the greater must be the rate of increase in output. In brief, the warranted growth rate equation in the model imply that actual investment must be equal to expected investment. Okay, and the economy will be equilibrium, and there are two cases: state if disequilibrium, if G is greater than GW. Now there are cases when economic growth will be under depression or equal. So these three are there. Now assumption of the model for what we know, policy implication is, it is very straightforward. Saving is a virtue in any inflationary gap economy and a vice in a deflationary gap economy. In an advanced economy, the saving coefficient has to be moved up or down as the situation demanded. Now Harrod model and trade cycle is also there, and there are critic also. The instability in Harrod model is due to the rigidity, that fixed production function, fixed saving ratio, everything cannot be fixed, right? You need to be common. How it can be fixed, right? So I give you homework. What you can do: why is a model discussed in this unit known as Harrod model? State in brief the basic formulation of the Harrod model of growth. How does the Harrod model explain the occurrence of trade cycle? Now Domar model. A fundamental question around which Domar builds his model is YD, YS, KID and productivity of capital, and we can make use of this notation to make a frame of set of questions. Okay. So this equation explains two things. Now yd equal to ys, so I by d is equal to k. Okay, so there will be a formula. These are the sums. Assumptions is basically income is determined by investment through multiplier. Productive capacity is created by investment according to the potential stock. Investment is induced by output growth together. Employment depends upon the utilization ratio. Past and present investment can greater productive capacity. Policy implication is that if sufficient investment is, but if enough is invested today, still more will be needed tomorrow in order to increase demand, so that the expanded capacity will be utilized and excessive capital accumulation avoided tomorrow. Otherwise, excessive accumulation will cause a fall in investment leading to a depression day after tomorrow. So to stay at the same place, therefore the economy must move faster, and the economy must move faster and faster. Okay. So if we do comparison, what is the similarity? The two models are similar in substance, right? Harrod is Domar's D. Harrod's warranted rate of growth is Domar's full employment rate, right? D equal to S by Y. So substituting we can get this. Now what are the dissimilarity? I have given you a chart. Here you can see under Harrod and Domar in this respect the five aspects on the basis of which I have given you the dissimilarity. So Harrod Domar growth model, these are the substance of the model, these are the limitations of the model. Okay, so now three questions I am giving to you. State the similarity, state the difference, and what are the basic features of both the model. Okay, best of luck students, exam is coming, so I hope you are very much clear about your concepts. Thank you for watching the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you have not yet.